Well, we might well have just saved the best transfer deal until last. Why, oh, why could this not have come a couple of years earlier? We can't attract youngsters from Red Star Belgrade or random clubs in Croatia and Serbia, but we can attract one of the best youngsters in world football from one of the biggest clubs in world football. Let's go and meet the man who's joining up with us in January and head to Chelsea in a big Champions League game. Yes, hello and welcome along to part 180 of this FM23 Build a Nation story, Lifting Spirits with me, Daniel. We are back today, having dropped our first points of the league season, but are going away to Chelsea and Inverness Cali Thistle in what is a pretty tricky episode by our standards. It is the first chance to see our back three in action this year, and we've also got a superstar to meet, as we mentioned. So if you're looking forward to all of that, seeing how our counterparts finished the transfer window and started their European campaigns, then please do put a thumbs up on it. But for now, we have got an awful lot to get through, and we're going to start with transfer news, because the end of the summer window was very frustrating. But looking ahead to the January window, there's a lot of excitement. Let's start with the things that have been done, because since you were with me, nothing happened at the end of the window. We tried desperately to get the likes of McNair and Gorman out on loan to help other sides in the nation or even get them football, but that hasn't come to fruition. We also tried our best to get Merival Austin out and get some money for him, but he'll now leave on a free at the end of the calendar year. But we have got one of the best deals we could ever do coming in at the start of January. Ryan Leary is the man. It will be a record transfer from Manchester City. £23.5 million. And if you're one of those people who's planning to continue this save when I make the file available at the end of the season, then you are going to be thanking me for this, because we can't attract players who are worth £1 million from Uruguay, from Serbia, from Croatia, wherever. They say we're not big enough for them to develop. But Ryan Leary, just because he wanted to leave at 17 to increase his national team prospects for England, has agreed to join us on a deal worth about 25 grand a week initially. He's actually taking a slight pay cut to join us. He's a 6'1" striker who can play anywhere across the attacking midfield three. And let me remind you, looking at this kid, he is 17. I mean, just wow. I don't think I've ever seen a 17-year-old with this level of quality that's then willing to come over to Northern Ireland. He's got the lot. If you add to that he's determined, he's got 20 determination, he's already playing for England's 21s. I mean, that will be one of the best signings I ever do on this channel. It's just a shame that I'm not going to be the main beneficiary of it, but it's really tempting me into continuing the Distillery save on Twitch in FM24, because, I mean, that is one of the best signings I'll ever make. What a signing he is going to be, and what a player to finish off. If it is our last transfer, we are going out with one hell of a bang in this save, let me put it that way. And maybe if we can get through in a Champions League, he can contribute to success later in the year. He'll also become homegrown at the club too. Let's go and move across to the rest of the nation though, and see what they've been doing in a transfer window, because we did have the end of August after you were last with me. What date were we here? About the 17th? Yes, because the first deal after it was a big one. Jack Rogan, who's part of my Northern Ireland squad, went on loan from Fulham to Linfield. He has been injured a lot since, which is a shame, but he's another very good defender. And add to Stow and Owen Kidd, they've got a decent team now, and he's someone who can contribute for them. Larne also bought in a lone player from Wolves, a young Welsh defender who's not bad at all. And then after Linfield went for their big signing of the summer, which was Matasayao from Coventry for 2.9 million. They also sold a star as well, but he looks a very good midfielder as this guy. Then Larne went on a bit of a trolley dash at the end of the window. We started with Glentoran bringing in one from Cardiff, who is a decent young left winger. Crusaders bought in a player from St Pat's. Our former centre-half Harley Jones went to Carrick, he's now 33. But Larne on deadline day went big. They signed Rob Sweeney from Reading on a cheap deal, who is an okay backup goalkeeper. They signed Jared Lamar from Watford for 500 grand, who is a very good young midfielder with more potential as well. So that one a bit more of the type of deal we want to see. They got Harley Jeffries on loan from Derry City, a good winger who's going to be part of the squad for them. So a very good deadline date for Larne in particular. A few players coming on loan from Scottish football down to the likes of Glenavon and Crusaders, but no real big deadline day deals for the other European clubs. Coleraine in particular, very quiet, which was a shame. And we couldn't get Gorman or McNair to go to any of our counterparts, which was frustrating. But let's see how they've started in Europe. I actually don't know the answer to this. Linfield fell into the Europa League because they lost to PSV and have been battered away in Greece in the first game. They have now, though, got home games against Sigma, against Karabag. They've got Derry City, Slovan Bratislava, Kukariki, and then Copenhagen and Everton. So before those last two games, they should really have got themselves through. Larne, they are in the Europa League as well. Bilbao, Karabag and Ostend, not the easiest of draws. They've got PAOK as well. Real Betis away to follow. But they have got 4 points already. They got through for dues in the playoff round. They drew with Slovan Bratislava, which they might be disappointed with. And then won 2-0 against Steaua Bucharest. So a good start for them so far. Glentoran, unfortunately, did not make the group stages. They fell to Fenerbahce narrowly in both legs. But Coleraine did make it through to the group stages. They got through against Puskás, and they have not yet made their debut. They play against Young Boys of Switzerland this week. They've also got Turkish opposition. Olympia and HB they should really beat. The same for Ferrol as well. So it's going to come down to whether they can win those 3 games and maybe nick a point elsewhere. So overall, not the worst, but still not going to be boosting the coefficient anytime soon. Let's go and head through to our schedule though and see how we've been getting on, because it was all going pretty swimmingly despite the frustration in August of not being able to keep too many clean sheets. We were picking up results, we were scoring goals. Of course, the standout is a 7-0 win at home to Sparta Prague. That started our Champions League group in style. And I would argue, in fairness, despite the disappointment against Glentoran and a big game at Chelsea tonight, we've got a Champions League group that we should come through. I would expect us to win at home to Marseille. I would expect us to win at home to Trabzonspor. Milan away is tricky, as we've seen before. Spurs at home we'll see on camera next time. And then our last 2 games are away at Legia and Bodo Glimt. So I would expect a minimum of 4 to 5 wins from this group. And maybe if we can nick one surprise result, we might sneak a top 8 place. But to do that, we are going to need the back 3 tactic to work. We are using it for the first time this season tonight. And you can see Chelsea have got a wealth of talent. And of course, they're playing an aggressive formation. We're still at our Grove Park Stadium that we're borrowing until January. And annoyingly, as you may have noticed in that first Champions League game, the glitch was still there. So we've not been able to capitalise on income. We're going to be back in a 10,500 seater soon. Let's go and get through to the team selection, because this is what I've gone for today. Some interesting and perhaps some controversial picks. Ender Gunders will get his first start of the season. This is exactly what we've bought him for. The back 3 will be Schweb instead of Azier at left centre-half. And instead of a tired Montero and faltering Bayavang in midfield, I've gone for Delguidice, which I think will be interesting. Ademir struggled with a little knock from Saturday, so he is going to be on the bench today, as is Paleka and Rauha, with Rodriguez preferred as the second striker. So the 11 in full is Ekon in goal, Puric, Schweb and O'Donnell the back 3, Ender Gunders sitting in front of him. I'm not sure how they've got a green relationship there, because Gunders has only made like 2 sub-appearances for us. Rivera and Timoveyev are the wing-backs, with Delguidice and Sinta in midfield. And then Rodriguez joins Declan Hendry up front. We couldn't register him for last year's Champions League after he joined in January, but this time we've got them all to choose from. I'm hopeful that we'll be able to put up a fight, but Chelsea are still a stern test. Let's go and see how we get on. Can we compete with the big boys? Well, in my capacity as Northern Ireland manager, I get to vote in the Ballon d'Or each year, and Shanahan, the striker and captain, is always in that vote. So let's get the lads motivated and inspired through the music and the tunnel interview, and we will be back for first half highlights, which, if I get things right, will be few and far between. Well, here we go. We've had 17 minutes. It's been a very quiet start to the game, and we've actually had more of the shots so far, but we have seen it in these games before. We can tie up, we can drift. But maybe that's why we were so poor at the weekend, as Gunders doing exactly what we signed him for. Breaking up play, stopping a Chelsea counter and allowing us to break ourselves. We're going for a more patient build-up. Don't want to get caught. Don't want to lose too much energy early doors. We want to conserve here. As Schweb goes back to O'Donnell. Comes into the centre circle. Looks for Xavier. Chelsea are swarming the middle to stop us breaking through. Rivera gets there wide though. Henry to Rodriguez. Oh, it's a brilliant save. How is it not 1-0? It was a wonderful move. Started with a brilliant bit of defending. And we can't take advantage at the other end. It's a big, big miss in the circumstances. But we look really good so far here. The offside flag goes up. That attack comes to an end. But what a start for Lisburn Distillery. And I don't want to say it too early, but for the first time in one of these games, we look a little bit of a match for our elite opposition, which I've not been able to say, as look at him again. Ender Gunder's doing exactly what we wanted. Xavier releases Rodriguez. Back to Xavier Sinter again. Shot's blocked, but Gunders recycles it. Rivera with the shot, which is blocked. It was poor. And now Chelsea can break with Shanahan. Is there a reason he's in the Ballon d'Or contention? He can't find the through ball that time, but it's back to Mulgrew. He's got a chance to go alone. Brilliant run. And this time it's David Ekon with a great save. 2 gilt-edged chances, one at each end. And the goalkeepers have been on top so far, but that's the warning sign. As Schwabi puts the corner in. Headed away well. Sinter will chase it. Can't get there. Crosses into the back post. Header off the woodwork. Schwab gets it away. Ekon was beaten. But it's a goal kick. Half an hour gone. This is a good game of football. Chelsea are on the attack though, and they're starting to get the pressure. Up to the back stick. Shanahan's beaten by O'Donnell. We're not getting out quick enough. Saidi can cross into the edge of the box. They've got a chance to dink it in, to the back post to Shanahan. He cuts inside. Finds Schwabi. It's constant pressure. We cannot get out. And it's in off the underside of the bar from La Fuente. A very good half an hour. But the pressure is told there. And yet again, no matter what we do, the outcome seems to be the same. Chelsea 1, Distillery 0. And since the last 10 minutes, they've been on top. It looks like it's going to stay that way for half-time as well. 1-0 is the Chelsea lead. And the second half of that first half, they were absolutely dominant. But we've done really well. It's the best we've looked in one of these games. You can see the pattern here from the aerial view as we play out from the back. Trying to get the ball wide, force Chelsea inside, and then take advantage of our wing-backs. Timofeyev has found Xavier doing just that. Through ball to Declan Henry, who was played onside. He's dinked the goalkeeper. And within 5 minutes of the second half starting, oh, the pattern worked perfectly. It's the reason I love this tactic. Declan Henry gets in. Xavier produces the pass yet again. And as we approach the hour mark, we're level at the bridge. And you know what? We've been good value for it this time. We've been a match for Chelsea on the stats. We've done things that we've never done before. And even if we do go on to lose this game, there are really promising signs here. As O'Donnell gets it wide to Rivera. Are we finally coming of age? Back to Puric. Might have to take him off in a minute. On a yellow card, not playing well. Rivera loses the ball. This could be trouble. Pereira finds Carter. Chelsea have got men over here. This is where we could get caught. La Fuente the scorer down the right. Options in the middle. Cross to flex. Knocked down for Mulgrew, but Gunder's there again. Rodriguez can't win the header. Pereira gets down the left to Mulgrew. Out wide to Pereira. Being closed down by Rivera, but he's beaten him. Gets to the byline. Cross is good. La Fuente's up. Ekon's made a howler. And he's back to the edge to Gunst. He's got a chance to shoot. Across to La Fuente. And David Ekon. Of all the times to do it. Oh, it's why I look for a goalkeeper so much of the summer. He's had a great game, but it's one bad moment. And now with 65 gone, the usual pattern will come. And the confidence is going to be tested here. Mulgrew's up. What is Ekon doing? And how is his rating still in the 7s? We've had a good performance here, but the goalkeeper's costing us. That one's wide. It's blocked behind. I'm going to make changes here. Rivera's not playing well. Freeman on for him. Puric is going to be replaced too. I'll put Schweb in the middle. I'll move O'Donnell out to the right of the 3. And we'll put Azier on the left. I'm also going to take off Rodriguez up front. He'll be replaced by Balikci, who is one of our best players. And then Del Guadice's not been the best in the middle. So Montero will come back on there. We've made 4 changes. We've got about 25 to go. And you know what? This has been our most competitive performance against the top side. We did draw with Chelsea once before, but the tie was already over. And to be fair, they battered us on that day. On this occasion, we've given as good as we've got. We've got a couple of struggles at the back. O'Donnell physically, Schweb performance-wise. I can bring Cameron Thompson on, but I'm not sure he's going to be an improvement back there. So for now, I'm just going to leave it because we are competitive as Chelsea play out from the back. We need some magic from Balikci or one of the subs because we've got quality there in him, in Montero. As Kuntz goes for the big ball over the top, and this is where the physicality tells. Schweb gets back, and Ekon again. Oh, man. There's a clear weakness in this team, isn't there? Error by David Ekon. It's the second one he's been at fault for. And not getting that goalkeeper over the line in the summer is really telling at the minute. I mean, he's still a very good keeper. But he's making big mistakes here. He's rushing out his 16, but he keeps getting beaten from those types of ones. And now I might as well rest Lee O'Donnell. Focus on the weekend. Cameron Thompson is on. There's 13 minutes to go. And David Ekon has cost us a game that, until the hour mark, we were probably just about edging. But now, it looks like it's going to be another defeat. It is frustration away at those top sides, but we've been much better in terms of competition. We've been in the game throughout. Now we've just got to eradicate the errors and maybe find a goalkeeper as good as Leary for January. As Balikci wins it back from Montero, can we get another goal? The goal difference could be crucial looking at the group as we try and push for this top 8. As Schweb gets it to Azier, Montero again and Hendry. We've got 1 minute of stoppage time remaining. Would be a good time to get a second goal. Schweb plays the ball out. He's a wonder kid, but really not developing at the same rate as others at the minute. As Freeman gets it inside, it's a poor ball. And it's given away again. Shanahan will bring it forward. And Chelsea have just got too much and too much freshness as well. Freeman, oh, what is that? Freeman goes for the clearance. Thompson goes for a diving header. And Ekon has let one under his wrists again. David, you've got big gloves on, mate. You're allowed to save them. Unbelievable. We missed out on a great goalkeeper in the summer. And I'm going to have to look for one in January because we're going to get through this group. I've got no doubt in that. And we actually played really well in that game. But we have got to get a better goalkeeper for the knockout stage. That is going to be my big mission between now and the next episode. And in the meantime, let's get back to a game we might win again. Merival Austin getting injured for the reserves. We're going to turn our attention to Inverness. Back in a minute for that one. We return 6 days later to face Inverness, and the winner of this tie will face Linfield if they get through, so it could be an interesting one. Very quickly first though, let's go and see how the other sides in the nation got on in Europe. Linfield had a game on the Thursday night. How did they do? They played against Sigma and they drew 1-1. That's really poor, to be honest. Larne also played. They lost 3-0 at Real Betis. And Coleraine can complete the set of disappointment here with a 1-1 draw at home to Swiss opposition. Not ideal really, is it? We have got some goalkeeper searches on the go. I'm not really finding anyone of extreme quality. But let's get through to the Inverness game where we can go back to a 4 at the back. We've got to be mindful that when we get to the weekend, we're going to have most of the squad on international duty. We've already got 9 away today, including Balikci, Montero, Rivera and Rodriguez. So we're going to have to rotate a little bit here. We'll be back in a minute to run through the team. Hopefully, we'll get a better result this time. Well, here we go then. Every senior outfield player that is available is in the squad today, as we're already missing 4 or 5 as we mentioned. However, there is still a fairly strong squad out here. It's a little unconventional in positions because, for example, we're losing all of our centre-halves at the weekend, but we're not losing any full-backs, so we need to keep people fit. Gavin Reid will still be here, but Freeman is going to be playing for our international team in 2 days, so I've got to protect him. Not actually sure what we're going to do at the weekend because I think Azier is the only player left who will be able to play centre-half. But what we've got for now is the best squad, including all of those who aren't Northern Irish that will be going away after this one and trying to save people who can play then against Belfast Celtic at the weekend. So our team in full is Ekon in goal. Reid and Schweb are the fullbacks with Purich and O'Donnell centre-half. Gunders is going away on international duty after this one, so he's in alongside Xavier. Houston and Bayavang will come in at the weekend. Del Guidice, the number 10, Paleka and Zheng out wide, and Declan Henry, the man through the middle. A strong bench, quality if we need it. We only get 3 subs in this one though, so I like this team to get the job done. Well, a pretty good Inverness side. We're fairly unfortunate to draw them in the first round because they are a strong Scottish Championship team and it is a good level of opposition for us, but We're at the stage where we should be beating these now. Of course, the same could have been said for Glentoran, who we were held by 10 days or so ago. And Inverness aren't in the greatest of form, so with them missing one or two as well, I would expect us to do well. Let's go and see how we can get on in this one. It is a far stronger team than we can often name in the SPFL games, so I'm hoping it will bring success. We should be able to beat Belfast Celtic even with the kids out at the weekend. So for now, the focus on this one. A fairly quiet 12 minutes so far. We have had the first chance of the game. As Crab gets down the left for Inverness, it would be a disaster to fall behind. O'Donnell prevents that with his header, but it's only as far as Kemp. He gets into the box. Inverness committing a lot of players forward, and Adams has the chance to find them. Instead, though, goes across midfield, and Gunders wins it back. Plays a 1-2 with Hendry. Paleka can carry it forward. Has support on the left from Zheng. Just under hit, though. Not quite good enough on the ball. Xavier wins it back in possession, though, for Del Guadice. Xavier with the big switch. Set up the goal last midweek. Paleka finds Hendry, who scores here. A really well-worked goal yet again. The flag goes up. I'm not sure about that, referee. No VAR in this competition. A dominant start, but no goal to show for it, even though I feel we should have had one. And now Inverness have got a free kick on halfway, and it would just be typical after having no shots all half if they get ahead now. Ekon at the back needs to have a better performance here. According to his profile, he loves big games. We've not seen much evidence of that yet, as Zheng gets down the left-hand side. Chance to cut in, does, but the pass is poor again. We're just not quite there at the minute. As Conway gets in behind at the other end, here it comes, first shot of the match, and Puric has to clear it off the line. Zeka with the cross which is blocked, and Xavier wins it back. The confidence is starting to zap out here. A blank against Glentoran, one against Chelsea, and none here, but we've got a free kick in, and O'Donnell gets the header. Del Guadice with a good delivery, had plenty of pace and whip on it, and in the end O'Donnell just had to flick it in, and he does for a 1-0 lead. That is crucial in terms of goal timing, as Xavier gets it to Zheng. Can we now kick on? Paleka in, is that a foul? Apparently not. Armstrong does enough. Gets the ball clear downfield. Who's going to be there? Only O'Donnell, who finds Gunders. He goes for the big switch to Zheng. Free in the middle if he can find them. He's got support behind as well. Crosses for Declan Hendry. And you're not ruling that one out from him. 2-0 in 2 minutes. It's brilliant play. And now we should be going through. Here's Zeka on halfway for Inverness as they carry it forward in stoppage time. O'Donnell wins it back though for Paleka. Has support from Del Guadice, the wonder kid. Through to Declan Hendry. Over the keeper for 3-0. And in the 3rd minute of first half stoppage time, we wrap up the game. And from 40 minutes being 0-0, it's game over at the break. And again, for some reason, we're going from the kickoff. Why has this game gone so mad? Have Inverness just completely collapsed? They've given it away to Paleka. We've got a chance to make it 4 here. Gunders has lost possession though. And that should be the first half because it's back to the keeper. The 3 minutes have been played. It's a big ball downfield though. Puric heads away. Zheng down for Schweb and Xavier. Chance to go forward. Looks for Del Guadice. Through ball to Zheng. We're in again here. Henry's in the middle. Zheng cuts back. Schweb gets into the box with a chance to cross. Hector Schweb back to Gunders. Blocked by the defender. Paleka in just wide. And Inverness have collapsed like a pack of cards here. And from 5 minutes from a goalless first half, it is 3-0. It's game over. And in the end, it could have been more. We're happy with that. So let's just get through the second half. Try and see this game out comfortably. As it's a big kick downfield from Inverness just a couple of minutes into this second period. O'Donnell's header is straight to McShane though. And Mondino will work it forward. Puric does well. Back to Ekon. I'm not sure we needed to see that. As David Ekon, just 2 minutes into the second half, rolls out to Puric. He finds Schweb on the left-hand side. Down the line for Zheng, who's had a good game here. He finds Xavier and now Gunders. Hendry holds it up. He's got Del Guadice running off him. Goes alone, though. Does find Guadice in the end. It's 4-0. It's wonderful stuff. And this is where the goal threat comes from. Why could we not have had one of these against Glentoran last week? Well, another 5 minutes gone, and it's Gavin Reid on the right, finding Del Guadice, who is looking every bit the wonder kid there. And he's scythed down by McShane, who's tried to break his legs. Get him off the football pitch. There's no place for that. And now we'll be playing 10. It might get even easier now. Del Guadice wins the free kick, and that's a disgrace from Inverness. As we get the ball back with Gunders on halfway for O'Donnell. Still not even an hour on the clock. Xavier carries it to O'Donnell and Reid. Back to O'Donnell again. Inside to Xavier. Ball over the top towards Del Guadice. Oh, he's put it wide. I thought it was 5. An hour on the clock. We'll probably rest people who are going away now because I want to make sure they're not overloaded. The 2 centre-halves not ideal. Xavier struggling a bit. Del Guidice would be nice, but it's probably not going to happen. So let's go for Xavier off, replaced by Houston. We'll go for Thompson on for half an hour at centre-half. And then we'll take O'Donnell off as well, in fact. We'll bring on Timofeyev. We'll go for Thompson, right centre-half, Schweb left centre-half, and Timofeyev will be the left full-back. 4-0. We don't need a brilliant defender out there now. It's 11v10 and it's dominant. So Schweb's up, hits the woodwork. Cleared away as far as Del Guidice. He's got options inside. Wants to go alone though. Eventually finds Hector Schweb. It stays 4-0. It's been a brilliant performance. And this could be any number we want it to now. Well, thankfully, the game has got a little quieter. There's 7 minutes to go, and it's a corner kick. Zheng in towards Schweb, who loses out, but it falls for Declan Henry on the edge. You don't want to give him time there. It's a brilliant save from Dunn to tip it onto the bar. And he's got his reward because Schweb is offside from the rebound. It did look it. But what a save from the initial shot. Fancy playing in the Champions League? You can't be worse than Econ. We're into stoppage time with 4-0 up. It's calmed down after the subs, but a very good day at the office. And the perfect way to bounce back from Chelsea. Better performances across the board. We've just got to find a way. We've got to find a way to get those big results. It's English opposition again next time, isn't it? Let's go and get ahead to the schedule and see when it's going to be back. Because the game we are going to return for is not another drubbing away at Milan. It is at home to Tottenham Hotspur in the Champions League. 11th of December, can we do it at home? Or what is essentially our home for the moment? And then Linfield and St Mirren should be that weekend. So we'll have another big game in the SPFL trophy. No point in showing a league because despite those 2 drop points, we will still win it comfortably. If you're looking forward to seeing how we compete with more English opposition though, and you did enjoy this one, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Let me know what you thought of the Chelsea performance. Am I getting blinded or was it better? We certainly had more of a goal threat, but we can't give away goals like that. And then what do you think of the new wonder kid coming in? Surely that is the best signing of the save. If you want to stay up to date and find out what impact he has and whether we can compete in Europe for the rest of this year, then please do subscribe and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back tomorrow at the same time to face Spurs and whoever in the SPFL trophy before we move on to our final 2 group games on Friday and the knockouts over the weekend. If you missed my FM24 plans video earlier in the week, that is up in the eye above. You can also find my Football Manager blog, the Twitch channel, and loads of other stuff up there too. But thank you very much for watching. Your support is greatly appreciated. I'll see you back tomorrow for another English Champions League test.